Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is an update for September 28th, 2020, and I want to let you know that we are doing and have done what many people thought was impossible. So about an hour ago, Speaker Pelosi went on MSNBC and said that she is putting together a package for an overall coronavirus relief bill. She mentioned airlines again today many times. We are definitely in the package. She is talking with Secretary Mnuchin, and she said he is observing the Jewish holiday today, Yom Kippur, but we'll be speaking with him later today after his observance has concluded. So we are in a position of having an overall coronavirus relief bill. You have been calling, you have been showing up at Relief Now events, you have been tweeting, you have not given up. And I want everyone to know that our deadline of October 1st may indeed be, as we've been talking about, what provides the impetus for an overall coronavirus relief deal that provides relief to the entire country, to the whole country. So, your efforts on extending the Payroll Support Program, and I want to just remind everyone what this Payroll Support Program did and will do and will continue to do when we get the extension. So we got money that is reserved for us, for workers' payroll only, to keep us in our jobs. The requirements were no involuntary furloughs, no reduction in pay rates, no stock buybacks, no dividends, and a cap on executive compensation. All of those things are in what is called the clean extension of the Payroll Support Program. There have been standalone bills that were introduced that addressed these issues. There was one moving in the Senate and one moving in the House, as you know. Bipartisan support in both chambers. That helped to give air to the urgency of this, the urgency of our deadline. And we can continue to support those bills. Those are good for that messaging, so we can continue to ask people to co-sponsor that. But later today, the House will have a bill that is dramatically reduced from the HEROES Act. It's a significant movement in negotiations. And now the White House and the GOP will only need to respond and get very serious at the negotiating table, because this is a significant signal. With also, remember that the HEROES Act was before we began discussion about a PSP extension, because it happened so long ago. The House voted on that on May 15th. And it was after that discussion about our PSP extension began, because it was more clear that October we were still going to be in the middle of this crisis rather than on the road to recovery. So what we're talking about now is a new bill that will reduce the House ask, that brings it much closer to where the two parties are, that puts us in the range of getting an agreement. And we have talked about this. We know that when the two parties want to get an agreement, it can happen within a number of hours. We know that because we know the work has been going on behind the scenes on all of the issues that need to be put into the bill. All of the negotiations background work has been done, and all it requires is for the Democrats and the GOP and the White House to come together and agree. All have said that they believe that our payroll support extension should be extended. It is the most effective jobs program of coronavirus relief. It is the most effective use of the public's money. When people talk about this being a bailout, we know it's not a bailout. It's a jobs program. It's a workers' first program. We've been able to push back on that together. We know that when people talk about this being taxpayer dollars, we are taxpayers too. And this money that was put into our jobs program kept us out of the unemployment line. So it's really about, where are we going to put our dollars? Where are we going to put the public's dollars? Are we going to put it into systems that try to give people a safety net? Or are we going to actually keep them in their jobs, connected to their health care, retirement, and give them the ability to take care of themselves, continue to pay their rent, continue to pay their taxes, continue to contribute to the overall system? We also know that we've gotten a significant amount of concern from representatives who understand in rural areas or small community areas that they may lose air service altogether. That would be devastating, especially in the middle of this pandemic when so many communities are counting on our service to survive, whether they are passengers on our planes or counting on the mail that comes in the belly of the planes or the goods and services that come to their community in order to help them survive. So all of this is so critically important for America, our little piece of it. But our little piece of it with the deadline of October 1st is also what is driving and has been driving a deadline here for Congress to finally come together and get this package done. The package done that needs to be done for all of America. So I need you to keep it up. I need you to spread the word that we have moved mountains and we have put this in a position of getting this done by October 1st. Now I want to be really, really clear that there could be a situation where we have this done, we have total agreement, and they have to go through the procedural votes yet after October 1st. That may be the only exception to the October 1st deadline, so I don't want you to worry about that. But we need to have the deal done. Our deadline is real. October 1 is real. And keep doing this. So I want to applaud you for coming out to these Relief Now events. That has made a huge difference. We have gotten tremendous local coverage. We have cut through everything. We have continued to stay in the national narrative about what's happening with us and our jobs and the potential of mass layoffs this week. And that has brought attention with local news as well, which really puts pressure on those senators in the state and your local representatives. So that has been so important. But I also want to really recognize that there are so many of you who have taken our advice and gotten onto Twitter. You did it whether you wanted to or not, and you have been phenomenal. You have been amazing, and that is helping move mountains. So I just want to note that the most impactful tweets are the ones that you are doing through our website, which is AFA-CWA.org. The big slider on the front page of the website has a link that takes you to a place where you can tweet, and your representatives are directly filled in when you do that. If you see me tweeting from my handle, Flying with Sara, you're going to see that I am tagging Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, Secretary Mnuchin, Senator Schumer. And so we need to be tweeting at leadership that from our union, but it is going to be the most effective if you can be tweeting directly at your senators, your representatives, because they need to be putting pressure on the leadership to get this done. So here is a tweet with a picture of a flight attendant. There are many like this out there, but it says, "My last flight in my 14th year. I cannot afford to be jobless. Over a year. 100,000s of others like me, with no equitable paying jobs available, and zero child support. American families need relief too. Relief now. Co-sponsor HR 8345, Senate 4634, and then at her representatives with a picture of her in uniform. Now, I want to be really clear. If you are posting pictures of more than one of you in your uniforms, and it's, say, an old picture from before coronavirus, it's really important to note that it's a pre-COVID picture because people will wonder why you're not wearing masks in that picture, and so you need to note that. If you are posting a picture of yourself, just yourself, in current times, then you should note that too. And if you're posting group pictures that are current, of course, we want to be compliant with the mask policies and show, obviously, that we are safety professionals. So I've seen some pictures out there that are obviously from people's training classes or other things like that that are wonderful. They're so powerful. But just give a little note that the picture was taken pre-COVID, just so that nobody's wondering. That's very helpful. More of you can get on social media. This has been really impactful. I want to remind you that tweeting is the most effective, Instagram next, and finally Facebook. But pushing this out into the ether is really important. And if you can tell a personal story, all the better. I know it's hard to do in just a few characters, but simply saying that you have no other options to go to, you don't have a plan B, whatever your story may be, you've had to move out of your apartment, you've had to try to conserve dollars, whatever that may be, you're concerned about losing health care. Everybody has a story. and you can tell it very quickly and say a relief now. So keep it up. I want everyone to have tremendous faith here and work over the next 72 hours and know that we can get this done. We absolutely can get this done. People were saying that we couldn't, and we put it in a place where we can. We can get this done. We were up working with Chairman DeFazio and the Speaker's office, like many other offices last night, until 1 o'clock in the morning, getting language ready for this bill that will be introduced later today in the House that is going to put us in a different position for these negotiations on an overall relief package. So we got that just right. We are working alongside our airlines as well. And we need all of you. We need all of you acting. We need all of you spreading the word that we can get this done. If we say that we can't, you're giving Congress permission not to act. And inaction is not an option. Just remember that. It is not an option. Everybody says that they want to save our jobs. Everybody says that they want to support these bills. Well, we don't need support for bills. We need a law. And so we need them to finish the job with a law that protects our jobs through March 31st, 2021, keeps our pay in place, keeps the service to all of the communities, and continues for another 6 months in addition to the old package, the ban on stock buybacks, dividends, and cap on executive compensation. So that's our clean extension. It's moving forward, and we just have to go get it now. Keep it up. Spread the word, everybody. We can get this done. We are not going to sleep until it's done. All right. Stay safe.